Hi, man. Welcome to my podcast, man. I really enjoy having you here, man. I know we met through a mutual friend, but we've become friends since then. So if you could just introduce yourself with people really quickly.
Hello, everyone. My name's Zach. I'm on here for some fitness stuff and really looking forward to this interview. It's going to be fun.
Yeah.
Podcast ordeal. So,
I mean, Zach is being modest right now, but if you check out some of his pictures, man, he's definitely knows what he's doing in terms of fitness, I would say. So
thank you, man. I appreciate that a lot.
yeah, for sure. All right. So just a really quick question, just to start it off, man. So what got you into fitness? Like what started your fitness journey? People are interested to know.
For sure. It's not the typical, like, I don't know, I just wanted to be healthier or stuff like that. It kind of ties into what you were just saying earlier. As far as like always being modest. Dude, so my freshman year in health class, we were in the weight room and I was the overweight kid. I was like morbidly overweight, I would say. They're definitely unhealthy. And I think we were doing like an example for the bench press. And of course, the gym teacher, assuming I'm the biggest kid overweight in the class, this kid can probably bench press the bar, right? Dude, I go over there onto the bench, drop the bar on my neck, embarrass myself in front of everyone. Totally like adds on to that anxiety, and like I kind of came to a realization, that I wasn't living the healthiest lifestyle. And it's funny because, it's like implemented in my mind the night, like when I was like, I'm going to kind of chase this goal, like I knew it wasn't going to happen overnight. And I remember my grandma gave me her 2.5 pound weights. And I'm not kidding. I had used her 2.5 pound dumbbells and made it work. But yeah, back to the question. I originally started my fitness journey solely on that terrible mishap in the class. So yeah.
So that just like set it off. You're like, you know what? Like I gotta prove something, basically.
Yeah, definitely. I think back and I'm curious if it was like for myself, for the people. I love fitness. I encourage everyone to get into some sort of healthy lifestyle, whatever it works for them. Small steps. It took me 2 years to get into a gym before I got out of my house, my room. I had bought a cheap bench press off Craigslist, and I got gifted for Christmas one year. One of those like pull-up bar dip machines, and I work with what you got, and then when you're comfortable enough to go into a gym, and I definitely support anyone to go. I think there's a lot more. I want there to be a lot more of comfortable environment in the gym. It's definitely very tense at some gyms, and I can understand why a lot of people have a hard time going. Completely understand. I even found myself with this issue sometimes.
That really brought to light a lot of what I was wondering, like how you got into it. So that makes a lot more sense now that you do explain it to us. So the next one is like, let's say somebody is like looking to meal prep. I know that's a big thing people talk about, meal prepping, what types of foods to eat. So like what does your weekly meal prep look like? Like what would you recommend people eat to get the gains and to get, in shape? If maybe they don't want to get gains, but they want to get a little weight on them, what would you recommend for them? Like what does that look like?
For sure. Now there can be so many different approaches to it. I think if you're just trying to build some muscle, in that process, you're going to put on a very minimal amount of fat, and that can differ depending on genetics, and for me, I'm an easy gainer. I was very overweight. I didn't really know much about the nutrition going into it, but my weekly meal plans, it's more on the cheaper side because I just buy like from basic stuff like chicken, vegetables, and stuff like that. If you have the money, I definitely would recommend going higher quality foods, organic. Oh yeah. So my weekly meal preps, everyone's different. The first thing I would suggest to anyone is to have a MyFitnessPal. It's a good nutrition app. You can scan all your stuff in, and I would recommend if you want to get the gains and stuff, eat 4 to 5 meals a day. They have with whole foods and everyone, if possible, and always have protein as a higher thing. I would multiply your body weight with by 1.25 when you're doing your grams, when you're counting your grams of protein. There's a huge misconception with carb intake. People strive away from carbohydrates because they think it's going to make them fat or retain more water or whatever. But, that's really, I think a lot of people know it as well as it's just an energy source, So Carbs, I would always keep. If you download the app, it'll tell you what to do. You know, I don't know as much as people think I do. I learned all just kind of as I went, and if you plug all your information into that app, it'll help you. So that's what it did for me. You know, I learned through that, and a lot of trial and error, but I would just say these are like the three important things when you just want to gain. People, I think it's really overlooked. Just make sure you get that 1.25 or 1.5 times your body weight. Then your carbs, it'll do that defaultly for you, depending on your goal you put in. And then for fats, I would always have your fats at 20% when you're doing your circle of percentages for your nutrition, because your fats more so for the male or female as well, or anyone, you know, the fats are what keep your estrogen or testosterone, those things in check, and making sure you're just healthy overall, you know. So definitely don't neglect things. There's a lot of fitness myths, and I feel bad for a lot of people getting into fitness nowadays, because, you know, social media has a tendency to blow things completely out of proportion. You know, just stick to the basics with fitness. But to be more specific to the question, yeah, I would try to do 4 to 5 meals a day, keep your protein high, your carbs wherever you're comfortable with, and your fats at like 20% of your daily caloric intake. And you'll definitely see progress within the first month. It'll be really motivating too. You know, it's nothing better than that. It's really good. So
That's true, man. It's nothing like, man, people think it's so easy to gain weight. I know for me speaking, like I don't gain weight easily. Like I have a very fast metabolism. So it takes effort to gain even like a pound or two. But when you do gain that and you see the progress, like there's nothing like it. Like that discipline really pays off, I feel like.
I have a question for you, Daniel. I'm just curious. How much do you have like an estimate or idea of how much like calories you get in a day?
I try to get like at least 2,500. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I always was just curious, because my whole life I always wanted to be like not really overweight, and I was like, man, I don't know. Everyone's like, I'm so different. I don't know how much people eat, and I don't know. You know, I was eating like, it sounds crazy, but I was like, you know, 10 years old eating McDonald's every day. You know, eating 2 bags of Takis a day and a 12 case of soda. You know, and Josh can vouch for that. He used to see me kill the fridge, and I was like 10, and I got away with it, man. It was a bad habit. So, yeah.
That's all. I mean, you know, when you're a kid, you can do that, you know? As you
Yeah.
get older, you know, hopefully like you learn like, all right, that might not be the best thing for me, but we still do it from time to time, you know. I still do
Exactly.
a bag of Takis once in a while, you know.
Yeah, for sure. I love it. Yes.
I'm big into Slim Jims.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going on to number 3 right now. So this question is really like a question I have, honestly. Like, what do you think is the most important in terms of building muscle, in terms of optimizing your workout? Do you think the diet is most important? Do you think the amount of exercise you do is most important? Or do you think the amount of sleep you get is most important? And what do you think? Or do you think all of them? What's your opinion on that?
First of all, that's actually an amazing question, Daniel. That's a question that's definitely underrated, and I'm honestly, whoever's listening to this podcast, they should really share this, because this is probably the most important question that no one ever asked, and I wish I knew 4 years ago before I started being an ego lifter when I was like in my teenage years. First of all, sleep is the most important. I would have to say that's where your body's really at its, you know, deepest rest state, and during that state, your food intake, which is the second biggest thing, what you're putting in your body will then therefore, you know, maximize your gains and muscle growth. And lastly, the last thing on that list would definitely be exercise. And when you approach exercise in the gym, I would say start off, if you're fairly new, I would say start off. I would definitely recommend using machines first, because I went straight to the free weights, and I have ended up with a lot of imbalances that I've had to work on, which were definitely annoying, but you know, I got to do what you got to do. And yeah, I think in that order, sleep should be prioritized, food, and then lastly, exercise. And make sure you're breathing, practicing your breathing. If you probably already meditate or do stuff like that, you're definitely going to be doing good in the gym, because I personally have a hard time breathing and keep just thinking in general. You know, I lose count of my reps sometimes. So it's good to be in that deep focus. And one more thing for people, if you do have high anxiety and stuff like that, because I personally do, and a lot of people tend to feed off others' energy in the gym, I would recommend working out on your own so you can really be dialed in. Because I've noticed personally for me, I always have terrible workouts when I work with people. It's not them, they have a tendency to think so. It's not them at all, it's really just me, and I have a hard time focusing. So I just dial into I dial in and do my thing. But I'm gonna just say that one more time: food, sleep, exercise. And for people who have higher anxiety, please work out by yourself. You'll have a lot more growth, I promise.
So. And then for me, man, a big thing is music too. Like, I don't know what it is, but if I don't work out with music, like I just don't get in that same zone. You know what I mean?
I know exactly what you're saying, Daniel. I know, dude, yeah, I know. I'm pretty much exactly how you feel. And I still have anxiety every day I go to the gym, it's always been there, but I've come to like the realization that the music is what helps me. It gets me in that mood. It gets, you feel it. I know what you mean exactly. And yeah, that's a huge one. So
that's a big one, man. Yeah. And the importance of sleep, like you said, man, I used to not take that seriously. Like I would be working out like crazy. I'd be eating like a whole bunch of food, but then like I'd be sleeping like 5 hours or something. And it's like,
right.
You need to give your body that time to repair that muscle once you break it down. Like it doesn't matter how much you work out. If you just don't sleep enough, you don't rest enough, you're prone to injury. You're prone to not gaining as much as you could,
Yeah, that's true. Hopefully people out there really like take my word. I know that no one really knows you, but sleep is so huge. I've lost out on so much progress from not doing the right things. And, when it comes to fitness at the end of the day, it really is the basics. I would stick to the basics always. And please, for anyone out there who, especially if you have high anxiety, especially, it can definitely throw you off in the gym if you're not like in your own zone, because then you tend to work out differently and you can hurt yourself. And I would just say going into the gym, I would take it very seriously. Maybe I'm just a serious person. I don't know. I have no idea, but this is all just my personal opinion.
Oh, you definitely take it seriously. I definitely can see that you take it seriously. So that's why you've gotten so much progress, I feel like.
Yeah, I think I just take it so seriously. And this my whole life, though. I grew up around kind of very unhealthy, dude, very unhealthy stuff. And, people don't realize how important, the food is you eat every day, People also don't realize America is one of the only countries where it costs more to eat healthy than it does to eat out. You go to Europe, it costs $20 at McDonald's. It costs $20 for some vegetables here. It's unfortunate, but there are problems everywhere. So yeah,
that's a great point. So I had a couple additional questions. I don't know if you wanted to keep going, but
yes.
I was just curious, man. So like, what are you currently working on? Like, what are your goals right now that you're looking maybe in the next couple months? What are you looking?
Oh man, honestly, I've had a huge, like, not to get too personal, but I've had a huge shift in life recently, and I'm not really too much of a huge like bodybuilder like that. If we're talking fitness related stuff, I'm not trying to get huge anymore. I'm really just trying to maintain a healthy body. But I have been getting into boxing, so I've been doing a lot of jump rope every day and training, and it's just fun. It's another form, it's just it's your temple for some people. You just go there, get it out.
Yeah, man. I used to run an MMA club, mixed martial arts, to my boy Daniel in high school.
Really?
Yeah.
Dude.
So I know what you mean, man. Like for me, that was my release. That was my stress relief, was going in there and teaching people how to like do certain jiu-jitsu moves, judo, boxing. Like to me, that was my temple, just like you said. Like that was my like escape. So
wow, I have a lot of respect for you, first of all, because this stuff is not easy. It's not. A lot of respect.
Yeah. I broke my thumb like teaching someone how to spar like so.
Man, that's cool. You have to another time we talk. I'd love to hear about that. If you could tell me a lot about all that.
Yeah. Maybe the next time we can get to some stories about things that went wrong in the gym and
yes, please.
Sure.
Okay, cool.
Oh yeah, so where can people see more of you? Where can people see maybe like your progress? It's up to you whether you want to share that, but
Yeah,
is there any way
yeah,
to check you out?
I mean, I'll definitely tell you my Instagram's just Zak Kubes, but I've really been staying off social media honestly for the past couple weeks, and it's been doing me good. But if anyone would like to check me out, that's my Instagram is Zak Kubes. I hope to start posting some more stuff on there soon. I'm trying to change my narrative on there.
Yeah, man,
Thanks,
you
man.
seem like you're in a good place. Like we didn't talk, we haven't talked like at least Zoom to Zoom for about a couple months, but it seems like you're in a good place. You know what I'm
You
saying?
know, honestly, you made my day. Like I've been, just keeping to myself, working, and I haven't had a good conversation like this in a long time. I appreciate it a lot. I really do. And yeah,
Man, I appreciate you being on, man, taking the time, like, like you took the time to do this, and like that really shows the type of person you are. So I really appreciate that.
likewise, you invited me out here. I hope I can meet you one day as well.
Yeah, of
Seriously,
course. You
that would be
definitely
awesome.
will, man. You definitely will. You got to work out one day. Box
Oh, dude, I would love to
it.
film some content for your YouTube channel. That would be awesome.
Let's do it. Let's do it, man. I'm gonna end this episode. Everyone, this is Zak, and he's such a great. He's being very modest right now, but he's a really like he inspired me when I see his pictures. I'm just like, damn, like this dude, he has the discipline. Like he knows what he's doing, and that's something that is inspiring at any at any stage in life and anything. Like that's just so inspiring to me. So appreciate you being on, brother.
Man, you hitting home, dude. Seriously, thank you so much, and I appreciate for being on. I'm gonna share this to everyone. I want you to keep going. I respect your hustle a lot. I really do. I see you working. Just keep going, okay? Please keep going strong. And I think everyone just needs to be lifted up more. That's where I'm trying to head with my life. I know this is about fitness, but I'm slowly striving away from fitness, and I'm just trying to help everyone. I'm trying my best. So keep being an awesome person, Daniel. You do a great job. I hope to talk soon. Okay.
Thank you, man. Thank you.